Lift your weary head up to the sky. Open up your window, let the sun in, and sing out with your arms stretched open wide. Hello world!
We were both doing this. We were both doing this. Yeah, just bopping. Hello, world.
Hello, world. Hello, Matt.
Good morning, Chloe. How are you this morning?
I'm great.
Yeah?
So great.
You're so great?
Yes. I had a very social weekend. It was
Yay.
amazing. I did my first party hop in 2 years.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's starting to be that time. Like it was nice out this weekend, so you could go out. I had the unfortunate situation that I had to work all weekend. So even though there were parties that I was invited to, it was the first time in over a year I had to be like, I can't come to your party. I have to work.
Busy.
I'm busy.
Gotta make that cash though, right?
You got to make that dollar. You got to make that dollar. It's just how it is. Yeah. I assume there was one of those parties is probably one that we were both invited to. Was it Sarah's graduation party?
It was not. It was
no.
Rob and Megan's engagement / Megan's birthday party. Happy birthday, Megan.
Happy birthday, Megan. Happy engagement. And also happy graduation to our friend Sarah. We have other birthdays we'll talk about later in the show.
We'll talk about birthdays later.
Yeah. But good parties, huh?
Oh yeah. It was great.
Good parties all around.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, you're watching Hello World. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Feel free. Say hi in the chat. We're here. We're here for you. We're here to hang out with you. So let us know you're here. Let's see. We got some business. That we do at the top of every show. So let's. This is a good one. Today is International Bath Day.
Oh.
Yeah. Which is an actual thing. Here is a little thing that was that I found on I get all this stuff from nationaldaycalendar.com. So
wow.
I do some hardcore research.
Yeah.
Good morning, MLab. Morning, Allison. And the Strandrew. Good morning.
The Strandrew.
So International Bath Day.
Yep.
And here's what it says. It says, legend has it that on this day, Greek mathematician, scientist, and scholar Archimedes discovered while taking a bath that an object's volume could be accurately measured by submerging it in water. Unable to contain his excitement, Archimedes leaped out of the bathtub and yelled, "Eureka, Eureka!" This is his Eureka moment.
Yeah.
And he ran through the streets of Syracuse, Greece. Hopefully after he put a toga on.
I don't know. I mean, they were pretty free and easy back then. Maybe.
It's true. It doesn't matter how free and easy you are. Like a naked man running down the streets screaming Eureka is just jarring.
It's a little unsettling.
Yeah, it's not necessarily bad, but it's like you said, it's unsettling. It's jarring. It's it's a whoa.
Well, and this was the I believe this was the original shower thought.
This was the original, only it was a bath thought.
It was a bath thought. Yeah.
No, the Strander, this is not how I welcome the day, but maybe it's how I should. I'm sure the people in my neighborhood would appreciate that greatly.
You got a yard, right? I mean, you could just run around in your yard. You don't.
It's a very small yard. I'd basically just be doing little.
It'll take you less time that way.
Yeah,
it's efficient.
It's true. Yeah. So yeah, the June 14th annually is now International Bath Day. Thanks to Archimedes
I think it's
for
a
that.
good day for a
Yeah.
bath. It's a little bit gloomy out there, a little cloudy.
Yeah, I wish I had a good enough sized bathtub. Like I don't have.
Yeah.
Like I know that the people out there in the world have only ever seen me from the mid chest up, but I am a bigger guy, so bathtubs have to be, it can't just be like a shower tub. Like
I
that
think
really
bath
doesn't work for me.
sizes were made when people were smaller. Just like houses used to be smaller because people used to be shorter. I think it's the same thing. They just haven't updated the bath sizes because I'm also I'm 5'8" and
it's a tall thing too. It's a height thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't get comfy. I don't know. Yeah.
So what we're saying is, bath people, get on this.
Bigger
bath
if you're listening. Big bath and beyond.
I
please.
like big baths.
And I cannot.
Didn't take us long to derail this show today.
No.
Nope.
Well, it's just one of those days, Chloe. It's just one of those days.
I get it.
Yeah, let's see what else we got today. Here's your little on this day, June 14th, 1951, the first commercial computer, Univac 1, was unveiled.
Wow.
Yeah, and let's see. I got a picture
where that was.
It was for the U.S. Census. Is what it was, and this is a picture of the console for that. Here we go. That's the That was the console.
Goodness gracious!
For the computer.
Oh my.
Yeah, which is, this is very similar to my current setup. This is the 2MB Studios right here.
Yeah, except yours is a little fancier. It's curved.
It's curved, right?
Yeah.
And I have a better chair.
Much better chair.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was kind of your fact today, and the trivia question goes along with that. Today's trivia question is: in 1964, Doug Engelbart, which is an amazing last name, Doug Engelbart invented what computer accessory?
1964. I'm going to say it was a lava lamp.
Doug Engelbart invented what computer accessory? And Chloe has chosen to pick the very well-known computer accessory, the lava lamp.
Yeah, because it's powered by, you know how things are powered by, you can plug them in with the USB port. So it was like the mini computer lava lamp.
Yeah, in 1964, the mini computer lava lamp. I wish I had a computer lava lamp. That would be awesome.
Pretty rad.
It'd be pretty rad. So we'll talk about that at the end of the show. So get, don't Google it. Don't be that person. Because that spoils all my fun of unveiling it.
Don't spoil Matt's fun.
It's Monday. I just want one day of fun.
Monday.
So much to ask.
The infamously known as the most fun day of the week.
You know what, Chloe? It's not for us not trying to
We're trying
make
really
Monday
hard.
a fun day.
Cheers. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Cheers to that. And if you would like to cheers, but you don't have any coffee for your coffee mug, go to Red Barn Coffee Roasters and go to their website, order all you'd like, and then type in the code Hello World at the end, and you can get 15% off your whole order. They ship anywhere in the country.
Red Barn Coffee Roasters. The coffee for cheersing.
The coffee for cheersing. Good news, I'm actually going to be heading back to my cafe in July, and we're heading back over there to check things out tomorrow. What that will mean for Hello World, stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
But now stay tuned for our first guest. I'm very excited to bring this gentleman out because he's talking about something that I know very little about, the geology of wetlands and ecology in general.
Nature.
which we love to talk about. We just don't get to talk about it that much because we are not in a natural setting. We are in the internet.
I'm in my house. I don't know where you are.
Right. I am in the internet. I am actually inside the internet right now. But please welcome to the show, Jake Brillo. Jake, good morning.
Morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm pretty good.
Where are you calling us from?
Syracuse, New York.
Syracuse, New York, up north a ways. Well, thanks for waking up this morning and chatting with us.
Yeah.
Now, well, you're in a college. You go out into nature, so I'm sure you're up pretty early on a regular basis. Yeah.
For the most part, I'm actually out of work right now.
Oh.
I had a job interview last week, so I had all my interview ready, like set up, ready for this. So I was in the zone.
Perfect.
Okay,
Nice.
I got all my lighting and everything.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say, excellent lighting. You're crushing it.
Yeah.
But-
Your lighting is really good today.
yeah, the job that I would be applying and trying to get is a wetland delineator job through a private consulting firm, which is kind of an interesting confluence of business development, government, and science.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to kind of apply all three because what we basically do is get hired by a lot of different companies that are trying to do a lot of different development and projects to handle all their science stuff, which is handling what the government tells them to do, basically. You need to get this permit to this. That means you need this survey. So send a kid out, me, to go look for frog eggs or map swamps and streams.
To make sure that they don't like build over anything.
Yeah, to make sure that they
important.
don't impact it and then get fined and then have the project shut down. And the moral or the intrinsic just protection of the nature value.
I love that. So you get to go. So they pay you to go out and basically enjoy nature and look around and try to find good things to save.
For the most part, generally.
That's awesome. Nice.
Yeah.
Do you find a lot of frog eggs? I know you were talking about frog. Is that like a major
spring
thing?
Yes, there's different states have different regulations, but a lot of frogs breed in these ephemeral, shallow pools that are only found in the springtime. And they breed in them, and salamanders. Their larvae develop, and they move out onto land, and the pond dries up. So they're kind of hard to find and catch. You have to be out there during the spring, early spring, when all these frogs are emerging. They do this kind of migration where you can, in certain spots, you can see them by the hundreds, like large salamanders just crawling along the roads.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, so those pools, different states have different regulations, but they want them protected, and so thus we have to go out and find them. And that is looking around these little puddles and pools and counting the egg masses.
Right, the egg masses, because you can't count the end. There's so.
No, yeah,
many.
you try to. They're like softball size for the frogs and the salamanders, and they're kind of different. You have to be able to be like, oh, well, that's a spotted salamander, that's a wood frog egg mass.
Right, because you can just identify these these animals by these eggs that probably to us would look 100%
like blobs of goo. Yeah. And they kind of are just blobs of goo. It's pretty cool.
That's
Awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
What got you into this? Like, what got you? You're like how old were you when you decided that you wanted to like?
I'm going to be an environmental consultant.
I'm going to be an environmental delineator.
The actual the job side of it came in college, but before then, in high school I was lucky enough to have an ecology class.
Oh, cool.
So was able to learn a bunch of trees and stuff, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. That was junior year of high school. So I was lucky enough to have this ecology class in a public high school, which really kind of changed my trajectory. Be like, okay, this is cool. This is something I'm enjoying. And there's an environmental, like a pretty good environmental school right here in Syracuse where I grew up. So I'm like, you know what? I might as well go there. And then I kind of was just didn't really know. I was like, I'll figure something out.
Yeah. Because it's one of those things that's like, what do you do if you study ecology? It's like you either become an ecology teacher or like
Yeah.
Just enjoy nature in your free time. Like it's you
A
don't
lot
really
of my
know until you
colleagues-
go to school what the options are.
Yeah, and that's why I found the options of the private consulting world, which is kind of a messy. I'm not going to complain and gripe about it too much because at the end of the day, it's a business and it has a lot of the corporate business aspects to it. And well, it's really awesome to be out in nature. It's also kind of gets to be like, oh wow, we're the foot soldiers on this development team, and we're getting grounded. Oh guys, go outside, go out here, go do this, keep going. And a lot of the managers and bosses are like, oh well, it's nice you get to be outside. It's nature. Like yes, but also every disgusting like roadside thicket of thorns that you see on the highway. I have to walk through that too. So it's a very like all the beauty of nature is equaled out with the the nastiness of the thorns and the stabbing and the ticks. So
so many ticks. So many ticks out right. And especially right now, like ticks are really bad right now, aren't they?
Yeah. I've been lucky around here. A lot of my projects in the past few years in New York haven't been too tick heavy. I've worked in the South where it's been really bad. And Massachusetts, certain areas like east of the Hudson, and ticks are 10 times worse. Oof. So it's kind of crazy. I can go out and be like, oh, not a single tick on me. And then in a different area, you're 20 on them.
Yeah, because Lyme disease is not all ticks have Lyme disease, right? Like they
no,
don't all, but it's just it's the deer tick that does that, right? And that's Lyme disease is no joke, man.
Yeah. Thing with, at least with that is if you get one on you and it was there within a few hours. With Lyme disease, if you remove it, you really don't have to, you're in the clear. They need like 24 hours of being attached to you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's
there's other diseases that only can take an hour or so. So I have probably several different tick-borne viruses running through me right now.
Well, yeah, because once you're
quite ill.
riddled with tick diseases right now. Because once you get out there, it's like you're not like everything out there wants to eat you. Either wants to eat you or like plant eggs on you, which is, I mean, I like nature, but man, sometimes I can only do so much.
Yeah.
We've got a question in the chat. I don't know if this is a for real question or if this is a joke question. But the Stranger asks, do you think people eat frog eggs like they eat fish eggs?
To my knowledge,
I don't know.
No,
I don't think they do.
I think frog eggs are probably
a little too.
I think they're
slimy.
They're too slimy. They're gooey and harder to get. You can't like harvest. Yeah, there could be.
Yeah, some weird gourmet club somewhere that just loves to eat
frog egg of the week club.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I don't. I think you're right there, Jake. I don't think that is a thing.
Nick, do you have I know this is a hard question, but do you have a favorite animal or a favorite kind of frog, or like if somebody or like the most interesting animal?
Yeah, I have several kind of group things. Sometimes I sort of ironically call myself like a ecological hipster, where I like all the non-cool, non-popular things. Like there's a lot of people go into ecology and are into the big megafauna, and they love wolves and that stuff. I'm like, no, I like the lichens, the weird funguses, the real obscure plants. Like there's a lot of cool plants that look, like just a little sprig of grass or something, but actually have a really neat evolutionary history. And then there's all sorts of things you'll see and be like, oh, well, that's actually pretty unique in its own evolutionary development, but you wouldn't know it just by looking at it because it doesn't have anything showy or cool. But if you know the history behind it, there's some really cool plants and stuff. So I would say a lot of those, like certain fern relatives and a lot of ferns. I'm big into ferns and.
Oh, I love
different
ferns are
different
beautiful
wetland plants. Yeah. Just also some of my favorite plants are also things that are just like really resilient and like hardy and grow in the harshest environments. And wetlands are actually a lot of times like very harsh environments to grow in, just because they lack a lot of nutrients. That's how you get carnivorous plants, which a lot of people those are always cool. We'll see pitcher plants and stuff. And
carnivorous plants are badass. Like they're so like metal.
They're more common kind of than you would think too. If you're in the right area, you can see them everywhere. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, because the ones that people know are the Venus flytrap and the pitcher plant.
Yep. Another common one is the I'm remembering its scientific name, but blanking on the common name, Drosera. It's a little like spatula, like sundews. They're like a little leaf, and it has all these little sticky hairs that come off of it, and you can see them. They're pretty big. They look like little lollipops, and the flies has a sweet attraction to it, and they'll come and they'll just get stuck on it, and it'll kind of like curl in. It's not nearly as complex as the fly trap or the pitchers. So it's just like a leaf that catches them.
It's this thing, right?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and you can get them for $19.90. You can just order them. Them right now. It's like ordering an Audrey 2. We'll just grow all of them, and then we'll all die. Those are. It's amazing that plants have like certain plants have evolved to like eat animals or insects. I don't know about like. Nothing bigger than like bugs, thank goodness. If they were bigger, maybe. That's crazy. Because they don't just eat you; they dissolve you and then digest. Like everything is done. Like it's just it's like a horror. It's like a horror movie.
Very evil genius vibes.
Yeah. What would you say, Jake, is the weirdest thing you've come across in your ecological adventures?
That's a tough one.
I asked the hard-hitting questions, Jake. I'm sorry.
I guess because I've seen weird things non-ecologically outside in the woods and things, human aspects of out there in nature. Like,
well, let's start with that.
You could tell us about that.
Tell us. We would love to hear about that.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but several of my colleagues have came across, marijuana grow ops out in the woods and and you'll just come across, there's also cool stuff like an old, really old house that has been abandoned for 50 or 100 years, who knows? And so some of like the archaeological things are kind of cool because we do work with archaeologists a lot on these projects. They're there to make sure that if it's sensitive area for any number of art, reasons, they can, identify this little shard of pottery from an indigenous order anywhere, like, anything old. So it's kind of cool to get to work with them and see them, and like they'll show them, be like, oh yeah, this was a shard that's about like well over 1,000 years old, and I'm just like, oh, that's awesome. It was just in the dirt.
Just hanging out.
Yeah, and there's cool times where you can find like people went out, built their house way back 100 years ago and planted a little garden. The house might be completely gone and you might just barely see the foundation, but some of the plants from that garden will still be there. You'll see like something that's just out of place and you'll be like, oh, that was a house here or a homestead way back in the day. Like things like a big old apple tree that was just seemingly out of place. It's always neat.
Just planted behind somebody's house that isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew my family bought some land like out in the middle of really nowhere, about 10, 15 miles outside of the town I grew up in, and like cleared the land and built a house there. But just all that. My dad grew a garden out back, and there's so much mint. There was he planted mint, and then it was just everywhere. And I know that mint's going to be there for generations. Like it's never going away. That's super cool. Jake, good luck on your job. I hope that comes through for you. You can follow Jake on Popular Ecology on Twitter. Hopefully we'll have you back soon, Jake.
Yeah. I don't You can follow Twitter, but I don't really post anything.
Oh, okay.
There's I do post nature photos under Swamp Scientist on Instagram. It's been a while, but
Swamp Scientist on Instagram.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And there's a lot of other cool like small nature accounts that just post all these plants and stuff. So like half my followers are also people who are the same accounts. So
and
if you get it, there's this whole world of
on
Instagram
right
nature botanists, and they all just post cool photos.
Said Swamp Scientist.
Yep.
Okay. Hold on one second. We do this stuff real time here on there we go. Perfect. And I'm going to put that link in there too. You can, look at all. Yeah, some really cool pics on Jake's Instagram here. So go check that out. Swamp Scientist on Instagram. Link is in the chat. Jake, thank you so much. Good luck with your job, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah. Have a good one.
Take care. Oh man, so cool.
Yeah.
I growing up in the middle of the woods. I loved going out and just like exploring stuff and like seeing what you could find. And there's so much cool stuff out there.
Yeah, I grew up in Wisconsin, and there's a pretty close to the Horicon Marsh, which is like a huge wetlands area, and that was always like wetlands do a lot of like they have a really important function in the ecosystem, but they're also just like really pretty, and like going out in a canoe or just going on like the paths and stuff was always super fun because I can identify two birds, and it's like really exciting to me to be like, I know those.
I know those birds.
That guy.
I know that guy. Chloe, you sent me a video today, and I can't wait any longer. We have to play it. Set this video up here.
Okay, so as most of you know, I have a small poodle terrier mix, a small white fluffy dog named Buddy Joe. He's getting older. He's 14 this year, and his back legs have started to shake a little bit.
Oh.
So I wanted to rehab him a little bit. So I started him on a supplement, and then I was like, what can I do to like get his back legs working? And the solution was to get a dog agility jump. And we've been training very hard, and we made this video for you guys.
Oh, here we go. Oh, there he is. It's only 6 seconds, so we're going to watch this a number of times.
We're just going to put it on the loop.
Look. Oh, there he goes. Oh, he's so proud of himself. Oh, he's so proud of himself. Look at him go.
Yeah.
Oh, Buddy Joe.
It took a lot of restraint for me to not order like a full agility kit.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I'm just gonna get this. I could get like the tube and and the table, everything. Yeah,
it's and like that's also like part of my ADHD is like this hyperfixation. So it's like when you have an idea about something, you get really excited about it, and you're like, I'm gonna be all in. I'm gonna do all of it. Buddy Joe's gonna be a champion. We have to invest.
Do you hear me, world? A champion.
Yeah. And so it took a lot of like conscious effort for me to be like, let's just try the jump, see how it goes. Yeah, but as you can see, it's been going really great. So maybe I will get him a second jump.
Yeah, I want to see how high he can get. I think you could probably like get it up there a little bit.
Yeah. We're working on this height right now because sometimes he still like stumbles over it a little bit.
This one is standing right here next to me, and I don't know that she wants me to pick her up, but I'm going to.
You're going to do it anyway because
I'm going to do it anyway just because she's here. Yeah, because people do love that dog content, and she's just kind of sitting there staring at me. So I was like, well, maybe I'll just bring her up.
She has an excellent beard.
It's a little bit of a mess right now, but she gets these like dreads in her beard that are a little gross, but that's all right. She can't help it. I know, it's so good. She's like, this is not what I wanted. It's also raining a little out right now, and she doesn't care for that, so she gets a little crazy with that. It's
Buddy
funny,
Joe used to do that, but then his hearing is not as good anymore, so it's fine.
Right. Somebody mentioned her eyebrows. We had to do a home haircut for the eyebrows because last time we sent her to the groomer, this particular eyebrow was out about that much further than it is now. So she had one really long tuft and one shorter tuft. It was very funny.
What happened?
They just got overlooked at the groomer. They
just missed it. Missed it.
Yeah.
Or they
so
just
we figured it out.
Wanted her to look quizzical all the time.
All the time. Yeah. All right.
Bye, Annie.
Yeah. She's just going to sit there and stare at me the whole rest of the show. And that's
fine.
And that's okay. I'm okay with that.
Prerogative.
Yeah. Let's do some birthdays here real quick.
Yes, please.
Because today, one of the a big supporter of the channel, a very good friend of the show, Britt Mitchell. It is her birthday today.
Mitchell.
Happy birthday, Britt.
Rainbow Brittles.
Rainbow Brittles. If you know her, reach out, wish her a happy birthday today. She's just an amazing human being. She's a theater teacher, and she deserves all the birthday wishes you could possibly give. HBBM.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Britt Mitchell. Get it trending.
Get it. #HBBM. We should probably check and see if doesn't stand for something else first before we.
I mean, it's got to stand for something, right?
It's got to stand for something. There's only so many, Anyway, yeah. Also, her hair looks amazing. She did like a navy. She dyed her hair like a navy, and it's like really long and luxurious right now. It looks so good.
Did we go out for a second, or was that just me? This could get interesting with the weather the way it is right.
Uh-oh. Yep. Well, Matt's frozen. I don't know if I'm frozen. What's up, everybody? Hello, world. We do it live. People in the comments, can you tell us what's happening right now? I'm good. Matt's not here yet. Okay. Well, we were going to do birthday, so let's do another birthday. As I mentioned before, it was Megan's birthday yesterday. He is lowercase f, capital ROZEN, frozen. Anyone else know anybody with birthdays? Drop them in the chat. It's just me now. Well, I'm going to do what I do whenever I have the show to myself. I'm going to pull a tarot card for you guys. Actually, you know what? Let's go with the Jane Austen tarot today because I'm feeling classy. Today is a nice day for a cup of tea. And these are great because they're also just, you can use them as regular playing cards. It's amazing. Look at that classic style. It's so beautiful. So, and again, with tarot, it's just giving you something to think about. It's not necessarily like a prophecy or a prediction, so don't stress out. It's just something to consider. Okay. So we've got the 4 of Spades. This is about transformation. Oh, this is the Death card. So a normal tarot. So, and the Death card is not, the Death card is not bad. It is about transformation. It's about a rebirth of some sort. So And this illustration is of Marianne Dashwood nearly catching her death of fever in Sense and Sensibility and then changing her mind about Willoughby. Yeah, I love the artwork on these. So welcome back, Matt.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry. My computer went just crazy.
Just
I don't know why.
I can't believe that you still had access to the chat.
I didn't.
You didn't? Oh,
no,
okay.
That was, I believe that's either Rachel or Ben
okay,
in the chat. Yeah.
I should learn to read at some point. Anyway, so if you have never read Sense and Sensibility, or if you haven't seen the movie with Kate Winslet, highly recommend. It's very good. But basically, Marianne's being very dramatic, and she Willoughby does her wrong, and she goes out into the rain and is just like shouting his name at the storm. And then, of course, she catches a cold and almost dies. And then when she comes out of it, she realizes, wow, that was not worth it.
Lessons learned.
Lessons learned. So you got to think about that, you know? You got to think about what's worth it in your life. What's bringing value? What's bringing positive energy in? Like, for instance, I have a friend who is trying to build a healthier relationship with food and with her body. Mm-hmm. And she was telling me like, oh, I spent a weekend with my Beachbody friends and it was really stressful. And I was like, excuse me, what? And her Beachbody friends, Beachbody is a brand, a company that does fitness videos, and it's like the Insanity and P90X type stuff, which, spoiler alert, is like not really great for you. That's like a one-way ticket to an injury. And all they talk about is fitness and their diets and stuff. And for somebody who's kind of recovering from that, that's a really bad idea to be around that type of person. And so I asked her, like, why are you friends with them? What value are they bringing into your life? And she started going like, well, you know, we've been friends a long time, and like they had booked this thing and I had to go. And I was like, no, how do they make your life better?
Right.
And if you can't answer that question, maybe re-examine what you're doing hanging out with certain people.
Yeah.
So
it's never too late to reassess.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Chloe, you are well done. I'm glad you had your tarot on standby.
It's always here.
Just
I
in case.
a little bit, but we made it through.
Yeah, I mean, you just never can tell. We're at the mercy of the internet.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live. That's just how we do it. All right, friends, it's time to bring out our next guest. Very excited to have him on the show. I'm honestly a little surprised that we don't have him on the show more often, and that is on me 100%. Let's bring out one of just the best people in the whole world, Mr. Ben Scurria.
Hey,
hi, buddy.
Good morning, friends.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. It's a little rainy, but
it is a little rainy.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. That I don't mind as much as my dog minds.
Right? I don't know. Dogs do not care for this weather.
Yeah, it's very funny. He wants to go outside, and then the second he steps outside, he's like, "What is this?" He's like,
"What did you do?"
Yeah, and I'm like, "I know, man.
Can you make this stop?"
Tried to tell you.
Annie does the same thing. She'll wake my wife up at like 3 a.m. to take her outside, and then she'll walk out onto the porch and turn right around and come back inside.
Yeah. We have like a little pathway down to our backyard, and when it's raining, he'll just pee in the pathway. He won't even get to the backyard. He's like, "This is good enough. We're outside, right?" I'm like, "Sure."
This works for me. Well, Ben, thank you so much for getting up this morning and being on the show. I appreciate you. You put on a collared shirt and everything.
Trying to be fancy.
I'm the schlub I'm repping the brand.
Hey, rock the studio. I love it.
Rocking the brand, but just couldn't be bothered with a collared shirt today.
I love it.
Now, Ben, one thing that people that know you know that you are huge into just food, like good food, not just food, but good food, and good
food.
restaurants, and you have taught me so much about like the good restaurants in the Boston area in the time that we've known each other. So thanks for volunteering to come on the show and talk about it.
Excited to be here, and yeah, I am an unabashed foodie. I know the term can be it brings up a certain kind of person in mind. I don't care. I'm not quite that kind of person, but I do enjoy great food. I enjoy going out. And yeah, I'm psyched that we can do it again. Right?
It's been a while since we've been able to go out into restaurants, so I don't even know that I know how to anymore.
Yeah, it's been really tough. I mean, some restaurants were open, but I hope many of you, though, if you weren't, whatever. But I was not going into restaurants. I was doing a ton of takeout from some of the places that I loved as a way to help them stay afloat.
Yeah.
But it's a pale imitation, right? Even taking the best food home, it's been sitting in a plastic thing for 20 minutes, and then you get all of your food at once instead of it coursed out. And
right.
It's not the same. So I'm very excited that stuff is opening back up. I'm very excited that it's, with the exception of today, warm enough to do some outdoor dining at a bunch of places. One of the big silver linings is that a bunch of places got outdoor seating and a lot of roadway was taken away and given out to restaurants. And I think that's awesome. And I hope that stays that way.
I really like that. Yeah. I think
because Davis Square now is down. There's an area that used to be 2 lanes, and now it's 1 lane because they have outdoor seating for restaurants on either side of the street, which is awesome.
It feels very European to have more people sort of outside, and that's great. I really like it. I really like it.
So what's your have you been out to any of these outdoor places in the last few weeks?
I've been to a couple places, and I want to sort of highlight a couple places that I really enjoy. I wanted to talk really quickly though for people who are venturing back out, right? Just a couple things to think about. If you're uncomfortable about it, totally understandable, right? Even now it can get a little funky. So I always like to think like go at off hours, right? That's always been a thing of mine. I hated crowds before this.
Right.
And now, so instead of going to that place that you've always wanted to go to at 7:30 or 8 o'clock, right? Try to go at like 5:30 or 6, and then or 9, right? A late dinner can be really fun as well. A lot of people are like 9. That's really weird. But again, there are places around the world where like 8 and 9 is like the regular time to eat dinner, and then dinner lasts 3 hours, and that's your night, and then you go to bed.
Yeah.
Right.
Not a bad way to end the day.
Yeah, it's not a bad way to end the day.
I just get so hungry by then. By 9 o'clock, like if I don't eat until 9, I'm ravenous,
famished.
Which I guess is.
You go out at like 7, right? Go somewhere, have a cocktail, have like a little bite to eat, like just like a little plate of food, right? America doesn't do little plates of food very well. And so, right, you should be able to go get a cocktail and have like 2 pieces of crostini, and just like it can hold you over, right? Especially
so don't go out at 7 and get a chicken fried steak and mashed potatoes and then expect to eat again at 9.
I mean, if you can do it, if you can double dip like that, more power to you. But laying the foundation of a chicken fried steak is really a bold move. It's hard to build on. What else? The other big thing is just be cool right now when you go back. That's always the thing, but it's especially true now. A lot of restaurants are just starting back up again, and they are getting slammed, which is a great thing. But these are people who haven't worked for 18 months, and now all of a sudden they are getting hit hard again. And a lot of the places are not fully staffed yet because a lot of staff, unfortunately, had to leave and find other jobs during the pandemic. And so just be cool with that local place that might take a little bit longer, or maybe it's not quite as good as you remember it being. instead of going out and slamming it on Yelp or saying you're never going to go there again, just be cool, right? There's so many good places to go, and recognize that they're just knocking the cobwebs off. And then,
or give it another month or two, and then go out to eat. If you know that you're that kind of person that can't be cool, then give it a month.
Just wait a little longer. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was crazy. I've in places I've even heard people grousing about stuff, and you're like, really already? So I'd say be cool about it. And then the last thing always, right, is tip your goddamn servers.
Jesus,
you should have been tipping 20% pre-pandemic. Now 20% is like the baseline. And so just be cool. Recognize that that they are people are there doing the work so that you can go back and enjoy what you're doing, and they rely on your tips. So tip your goddamn servers.
Jesus. Tip your servers. If you get delivery, tip your delivery drivers. Like you can. If you can pay to pay to go out and get a meal, or get a meal delivered to you, then you should be able to You
should always be figuring the tip into your budgeting.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It should never be like, oh, I don't have money to tip, I spent my money. It's like, no. Make sure that you have enough money to tip. Or don't go out. Right. That's fine. I totally get that too. And that's great. But when you do, tip your servers.
Now, Ben, I know you know a lot of restaurants in Boston, but like you've eaten probably in restaurants across the country. What's the craziest restaurant you've ever been to?
Oh man, the craziest restaurant I've ever been to. That there's so many ways to define that. I guess there's and I'm gonna blank on the name of it, but a barbecue joint down in North Carolina, and people were like, the pulled pork is so great, and I was like, awesome, right? Because here's a tip for everybody: when you're traveling and you want to find out where to go, don't please. Again, I'm slamming Yelp. Don't go to Yelp. Yelp sucks. Don't use Yelp. If you want to find out,
you can pay to get good reviews on Yelp. Like you
sure
can pay to get featured.
You can pay to have bad reviews taken down.
And it's like
a shitty service, and they sort of strong arm restaurants into using it. Talk to people. Talk to your Lyft drivers, especially. And then if you go to a place, talk to the servers there. Be like, hey, where do you like to eat? Where do you think the best restaurants are? What's like the one place I can't miss? Right. And if you're cool to your servers, they're going to be cool to you and tell you about places. If you're not cool to your servers, they're going to send you to shitty places. I will just tell you that right now. But if you're cool with them, right, and you sort of have had a relationship with them over the course of the meal, and talk to them about stuff, at the end of the meal, be like, hey, where else should I go that I can't miss, right? At that point, they know you like good food. You've been cool to them. Mm-hmm. They're going to send you to their friend's establishment. They want their friends to make money. And
they'll most likely tell their friends that you're coming.
And they're going to find some really cool places that you probably wouldn't have found on Yelp. Some newer places that are maybe a little bit off the beaten path. And that's where this place came in.
Right.
This place, I put it in. We started driving. All of a sudden, I'm in. I didn't know there were like deep woods in North Carolina. That's on me. Of course there are. There are deep woods everywhere. But we're in like the deep woods, and I'm driving along, and I don't know. And I come to this 4-way stop sign, and on the left there's just this little shack. And it smells fucking awful.
You're like, oh.
And I was like, what? And it was like 40 minutes from like the closest anything.
This sounds to me like the beginning of Saw 5.
This could be a murder story.
Yeah,
it could be a murder store, and they just waft out pulled pork.
That's how they get you in.
Get people in.
That's the trick. Yeah.
And the people in there, were just hardcore, good old North Carolina people who served up fantastic pulled pork and banana pudding.
Oh man!
Which was,
what
my stomach just went. What?
Banana pudding is maybe one of my favorite.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah. Oh, I do love me some banana pudding.
So that's probably in some ways the craziest restaurant I've ever been to. Yeah. I mean, there have been a bunch of crazy places, but that's the one that really sticks out. It's like, where are we going? And then it was great.
Like, I'm so glad I followed the directions because the murder house was right across the street.
If you turn right, it's a problem. If you turn left, best food of your life.
Left, just remember,
right,
left is right.
Right, left.
I went to my cousin's wedding in North Carolina, and we went and found a barbecue place. And like the food was good, but the cool thing that happened was there was this huge like chonker of a beagle like wandering next to the street, and and like his rope was like broken and he was just by himself, and I was like, I think this dog is lost, I think. And so I went and got him, and he, like, my dad was like really hungry, so he's like, he can stay with us while we eat, and then we'll get him home. So we got barbecue. We ate outside at a picnic table, and I named him Fred. Mm-hmm. Just because he was, he's a little bit older. He's a little chonker. He was really chill, and he was very excited about barbecue. And so then after we finished the meal, he had a tag, and we took him to the vet where the tag was from, and they scanned him, and it turned out his real name was Rambo.
Rambo.
Yeah, his friends call him Rambo. Like, it is Frank, but
like he looks like a Fred.
Or Fred, yeah.
But his name is Rambo.
Well, I mean, what was Rambo's name? What was Rambo's real name in the Rambo movies?
I think his name was John.
Yeah.
John. This was definitely a John. Like, he was so trusting and chill. Like, he did not have any problem with me, like, picking him up and throwing him into my car. Like,
what a chonker. I love it so much.
Yeah.
So sweet.
He goes to that barbecue joint all the time.
Yeah, that's why I'm such a chonker, probably, right?
Yeah.
He just hangs out at the barbecue joint. That makes perfect sense to me. What a life. What a life.
I went to a restaurant once in Sikeston, Missouri, called Lambert's. I don't know if you've heard of this place, Ben. I think you've probably heard me talk about it before. But it's the home of the throwed rolls, is what this is. And this is a place that they have these, like, the food is like amazing, like comfort food kind of food. Like when I said chicken fried steak earlier, that's what I ordered there. They serve it in a pan, like in a pan. And then it's got mashed potatoes and gravy. And then they bring around to all the tables. They just constantly are rotating like macaroni salad and fried okra and like all these like side dishes and stuff. And then if you want to roll, they have these big yeast hot rolls that are coming out of the oven. They're baking them all the time. And they hire high school students from the baseball team to go around, and they have, that's their like summer job. And you're like, hey, throw me a roll. They will chuck these rolls at you from across the restaurant, and you have to catch them. If you don't catch them, they'll throw you another one. I was
going to say, how many rolls do you think they lose a night just from shitty catching?
Probably a lot, but they make so many of them.
The pigeons in that area are very well fed.
Yeah. But yeah, you were talking about no small plates, and that's the first restaurant that came to mind for me, because it was just a huge. And we went there on a road, like we were on a road trip, and we were driving Illinois to Florida, and we stopped in Missouri, so we weren't that far onto the road trip, and I got a giant chicken fried steak dinner. Was not good. Was not good for driving.
I remember one time I do a lot of I've been lucky enough to do a lot of traveling overseas and eat some really fun food in Europe. And I remember one time I was in France with my fiance at a place called Chateau Neuf de Pape, which is a town, and we were eating at this amazing restaurant, and we were having lunch there because to get dinner reservations there. That's another pro tip. If there's a really, really good restaurant, like a Michelin starred restaurant that you go somewhere and you can't get reservations at night, you can often get lunch reservations. They're often serving the same menu. Maybe it's a little bit smaller portions, but it's also a little bit cheaper. And so it's often worth checking out. If there's like a place you really want to go, you read about it, and then you can't get reservations at night, see if they do a lunch. There have been a lot of places I've been able to go to for that. But we went and we were having lunch, and my fiance was like, okay, it's lunch. I'm going to have a light meal. So I'm going to order. There's this salad. And she doesn't speak French at all. And I speak just enough French to get me into trouble. Right. Like every third word I know. Right. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's frisée and lardon. Oh, there's going to be some little bacon on it, and it's going to be delicious. It comes out, it was just this like huge bowl of salad with not only lardons, but foie gras and braised veal cheeks just sitting on top of it. It was just like, I mean, it was fucking delicious. Don't get me wrong, but it was not a light lunch.
It's like we're going to take this salad and we're going to cover it in meat.
Yes, it was covered in 3 different types of meat and like amazing French cheese and like it was like their version of like a Cobb salad or whatever, right? But it was like the fanciest version of it that I've ever seen. It was great.
I do love a good Cobb salad, though.
Incredible.
Yeah. Cobb salad, great way to protein load. It's got like ham and egg and
blue cheese,
and then lettuce. Great.
Yeah, just covered in blue cheese.
Yeah. Maybe don't cover it in blue cheese.
No, it's covered in blue cheese.
So did she finish it? Was Michelle able to finish the salad?
I will say it was finished. I don't know if she finished it. It was finished because you don't let something like that. Yeah, teamwork makes the dream work.
And you don't ask for doggy bag in Europe, right? Like that's
no, they don't really do that.
Like you eat it here or you don't eat it.
Basically. But it's great. It's great. There are places here though that you should be checking out. Let's talk about
local places.
A couple local places at all different levels of fanciness. So there's a place that I love. I was ordering takeout from them. I'm thrilled now that they're back open for business. It's called the Abbey. It is a gastropub over on Mass Ave in Cambridge, and they're just really great people. The people in there are awesome, and they make really solid gastropub food. Right? You can get a really good burger. You can get they've got a bison bolognese that is always on their menu. That's really, really good. Then they also have like a couple other things. They've always got a steak and a chicken, and right, it's your standard gastro food, but done really, really well. And the people are super nice. They have outdoor and indoor dining, and it's on the fairly reasonable side of things. So
tossing the link for that restaurant in the chat.
Check out the Abbey. Another place to check out
Porter Square.
What? Oh yeah, it's just below Porter Square. Yeah, totally. Another place to check out is in Union Square, and it's called Barra. That's Barra, and Barra is like it's like Mexican bar food. So it meant to just be a small bar at first. It was just a 12-seat restaurant. Because of the pandemic, they have a huge outdoor seating area now, which is awesome. And so it is small plates. You can get very, really good tacos, but like authentic stuff, and really, really good cocktails. Really good cocktails there. So I highly recommend that. Super psyched. Highland Kitchen is back open. Highland Kitchen is
I
amazing.
love Highland Kitchen.
Yes.
On Highland Avenue. They were closed for a while because of everything going on, but they are back open again. They are doing not quite up to their full menu, but like I'd say like 90% their menu is back, and it's such an awesome place. It's just like new American food done really well.
They were doing chicken, like takeout fried chicken, right? Or is that
they were
different?
doing takeout fried chicken, and then they just closed for a while too. Then they were just like, okay, we're just going to take a vacation. And so I was very excited to see that they had opened back up. And then of course, if you really want to go all out, right? I people who know me, I talk about this place all the time. It's really fancy, but it's my favorite restaurant in the city. It's called Julia, Giulia, and it's Italian food, but not like red sauce Italian food, more Southern Italian, and it's just amazing. Really, really great wine list. That's really not expensive. I mean, Italian wine is so good because it's not really expensive when compared to other places. I find you can get expensive Italian wine, but like reasonable Italian wine is awesome. When I find like reasonable French wine can be hit or miss. Reasonable Italian wine, you can find really good table wines. And I'm sure I'm gonna get slammed for saying that, but yeah, there you go. Tuscan Reds
all the way.
It's just yeah, it's the best. So Julia's amazing. They have really hard to get a reservation there, but you can sometimes walk in and get stuff at the bar, and also make a reservation. Like plan a month out. It's like a good anniversary place, something like that. I'm really psyched they're back. We were there on this past Tuesday actually for a birthday, and it was just as good as always. Really, really great.
Yeah. Last time I was in New York City was with Ben, and I was lucky enough. Ben took me to two different places that I don't in New York City. I don't know. Like I'll wander around and find some sort of find a Sbarro and go into it. You know, be like, ooh, Sbarro. But luckily Ben was with me. He took me to this place that had, and we had these little what were they called? Starts with a B.
Little bows.
Bows. Yeah, we got like 5 or 6 of those and housed them. Oh, they were so good. And then what was the other place we went to, Ben? I think you took me to a Thai place, maybe, or
did we go to Uncle Boone's? I don't think we went to Uncle Boone's. We went to a Chinese restaurant with your friends down in Chinatown, which was awesome, except your food took forever to come.
Oh, that was the because I got the duck, the fried
rice with duck.
Fried rice with duck.
Like, fuck, somebody wanted the fried rice with duck. We need to go get some duck.
They went to Central Park, got a duck, came back. Yeah, I do remember that, where everybody, that's the worst thing, when everybody gets their food and you're still waiting on yours and you're like, guys, please eat.
We were pretty much done eating by the time you got your food. It was nuts.
Yeah. And then I just kind of
housed it.
Yeah.
What you gotta do.
But yeah, if you ever do get a chance to go on a food adventure with Ben, 100% take it. It will be
let's do food adventures. Anybody out there, I'm down.
Yes.
Let's go. If you have a place that you love, throw it in the chat. Let me know what your favorite places are. I'd love to check out new places. I drove Matt up to Peabody for a roast beef sandwich.
Do you remember that, Chloe? You remember when I did the North Shore beef?
Yeah.
We did a whole segment on North Shore beef. I was so excited about that. I still have those pictures in my phone somewhere. I come across them.
It's worth a 40-minute trip just for this roast beef sandwich. It is so good.
Delicious.
It's called Atha's is the place. Anybody? ATHA''S. Oh man, great roast beef.
Yeah, if there's anybody out there that is not familiar with North Shore beefs, you should be.
Yeah, the place that I would drive out of my way to go to is Duck Fat up in Portland.
Love duck fat.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love that we've all been there. Yes.
My only negative about duck fat, it's not negative at all, is that I need to take a nap whenever I'm done eating there because it's so rich that I'm like, I gotta go.
Yeah. You got to go to Portland. You got to get like one of those like just a place where you can go and nap for a few hours.
Yeah.
And then go eat and then go take a nap. And when Abby and I went, we split this Reuben sandwich, and like we split everything, and I'm so glad we did, because it was so, and duck fat will mess with you a little bit.
Yeah, duck fat's great.
It's so good though. It's so good.
I'm seeing some of the stuff in the chat. Yeah, Haven is amazing. They've been doing it forever in JP. Oishi, yeah. India Pavilion, King Senior, if you like Indian food, there's a place, it's super no frills, to the point of almost probably, I would say, get takeout. It's called Guru the Caterer, and it is above Teal Square. So it's a drive. So it's almost into Arlington, but it's above Teal Square, and it's super, super awesome Indian food. They just make whatever they want. So you sort of go in and you're like, what do you have today? And like, cause it's just old Indian women making food. And so like, sometimes they do a chicken thing and sometimes they do lamb thing. And they usually have like one of everything, but it's never, rarely is it like chicken tikka. You know what I mean? It's like, just like whatever stews they're making. And it's really awesome. So,
I love restaurants that don't necessarily have a menu. Like, that's so bizarre to me. They just make whatever.
I love those. I know some that freaks out some people, but like I love, and Regis is talking about like Oishi and Japanese restaurants, and sitting down at a sushi bar and just saying to the sushi chef, like, whatever you'd like to give me, go ahead. Right. They love that. Had a crazy meal. That reminds me of a meal I had in Toronto, where I sat at a tasting counter. Literally there were two seats like on the kitchen. And so we sat at the kitchen counter, and the chef came over and was like, hey, what do you like to eat? I always like to check in with my people who are at the counter. And we literally were like, whatever. And he's like, what? And we were like, whatever. We got no restrictions. Just cook us whatever you want to cook us. And oh man, that meal was insane.
Yeah,
that meal was just too much food because he was so excited to cook us stuff. And so he like was just cooking us, like none of the stuff was, I think, on the menu that he was cooking for us.
Wow.
He was just like fucking around in the kitchen because he was just like, oh, people want stuff. Okay, great. Yeah.
I've never sat at a chef's
that you can
table.
do that because there's like an established menu, and it's like you go in and you sit down and you order. But it's like if you talk to people
again, talk to them, and they won't always do that, especially if it's like super busy or whatever. But a chef's table will do that because it's usually what they're about.
Yeah.
But even if you're right, sometimes I'm just like, what do you tell the chef to cook whatever he'd be eating, whatever he'd eat off the menu, I'll have, right. That's always a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
But again, don't do it when it's slammed. Don't do like
it's 1 o'clock during the lunch rush. Yeah. Yeah, that's like.
Listen, I know you're busy, but I want you to think creatively right now.
Like, I get super stressed about, like, I would never have, like, I don't know, I would never be able to do that because no matter whether it was busy or not, I'd be like he just wants to do his job. He just wants to finish and go home.
There's a time and a place. Like, he does want to finish, but especially if you go to a high end place, they want to. So often it's funny, especially at high-end establishments. I feel like a lot of people are just there because it's like fancy and you're supposed to be there, and they don't necessarily like food. It's funny because you'd think they would if they're paying like the prices they're paying, right? But it's actually less about food for the diners at that point. If people want food, they'll go to a fucking barbecue joint, or they'll go somewhere where it's like whatever. But they go to these places, and so like if you're in there and you're like, I truly appreciate this food that you're making at a high level that I know I couldn't make. They're into that. They think about how much you like it when somebody's like, hey, I think you're really good at your job and I'd like to talk to you about it. Right. Even if you're busy, you're like, yeah, okay. Let's talk about it a little bit because thank you. It feels good to be like recognized. And chefs are the same way. And so like, especially if you like something a lot, tell them to thank the chef, right? Be like, tell the chef this is fucking amazing, right? People always send stuff back if they don't like it.
Right.
But the chef never gets compliments, right? So I always try to be like, this was so good. Or like tell them this was amazing, or tell the whatever station like they're doing a great job, right? People only usually talk to the kitchen if they're angry.
Oh, that's so true. That's so true. Yeah, it's like everybody's working hard there, and it's always good to have your work praised.
Yeah, excited full mouth groans absolutely count as a compliment, Regency, especially.
Yeah,
you're in front of a sushi chef or a chef that can hear those groans.
It doesn't translate as well if you tell the waiter or waitress, like, tell the chef I said.
I mean, as you said it, as you began to say it, I agreed with you, but then I heard it and I was like, I'd be okay with that. Right? If you were the chef and somebody came back and they were like, hey, the diner wanted me to tell you, I'd be like, hell yeah.
I want you to quote me exactly here. Tell the chef I said.
You can borrow it. Just take it in.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Well, Ben, thank you so much for coming on the show today and talking food. I mean,
thanks for having me.
If anything, now I'm starving and I'm going to have to, I don't know what I'm going to have for lunch after the show. Yeah, the Raisin Bran has officially worn off. So now I'm going to have to figure. I have no idea. Maybe a hard boiled egg.
What's your second course after?
The problem is there's no good chicken fried steak in Boston. Prove me wrong, people.
So
but
sad.
I've tried it a couple places and it's just not been.
That is the one thing about moving from the Midwest to the East Coast. There's amazing food out here. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
I love there's some really good stuff, but stuff like, chicken fried steak or even chicken fried chicken. I love chicken fried chicken. But like sawmill gravy, like that's like one thing that isn't out here a lot, and that's that white kind of pepper flaked gravy is just one of my favorite things in the world.
If you can get a good gravy, biscuits and gravy with that sausage gravy, oh man, that's one of the best things in the world. Yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. A good buttermilk biscuit just drenched in gravy.
Oh, my grandmother and my great grandmother were both from Kentucky, and they made some of the best like biscuits and gravy I've ever had. Like it's just so good. And in like you can go to Dairy Queen in Illinois, I'm sure all over in the Midwest, and get like their chicken strip basket, and it comes with a little
dipping gravy
thing of dipping gravy and you know what? I was recently in that. Well, not recently, but back in December, I was in Illinois. We stopped at a Dairy Queen and got that, and I was like, "Oh man, they don't do fast food in the East Coast as well as they do it in the Midwest."
Can I start a change.org petition to have all food come with a little dipping gravy?
Yeah.
Is that a bad use of that site?
No, I would 100%
Absolutely.
sign.
It's there for you to use for the things that matter to you.
That's something I can really get behind. Everything
all
come with
food
dipping
should
gravy.
be accompanied with a side of gravy.
Yeah. You might not use it, but give me the choice.
Let me exercise my right.
Yeah.
To do
Yeah.
everything
Go with
for-
gravy? I don't know. I've never tried. I wish I had. I don't know.
Hashtag choose gravy. It's weird at Cold Stone. Like it's a cold, like getting it at Cold Stone Creamery.
Yeah.
You don't want the
that would
hot
be
gravy with a.
I'm trying to think of any kind of ice cream that would be good with gravy, and I'm really struggling.
Yeah. Well,
Apple pie,
There's
slice
a
of cheddar
savory
cheese,
ice
and a
cream.
dipper of gravy.
There you go.
Yeah, I would.
Oh.
I might not eat the gravy on the apple pie, but
you just feel better knowing it's there.
a little
think
dipper of
apple
country
pie
gravy.
dipped in sausage gravy would be fantastic, actually.
Oh man, like an apple sausage pie.
Yeah, exactly. It sort of feels like
with a piece
stuffing.
of cheese.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is a new show that we're
We did
workshopping
it.
here on 2MB. Is
We did it.
Chloe, Ben, and I are just going to we're each going to get a dipper of gravy, and we're just going to try different foods dipped in gravy.
Yeah.
I think sometimes the gravy would be cold and sometimes it would be hot, depending on. Oh yeah,
I guess in Cold Stone they could just pour like a cold gravy topper.
Oh, so it's like a mixer. Cold Stone.
It's a topper.
Yeah.
It's
Oh. Oh.
all right. We've derailed. I think this is the best. We need to pull the ripcord and get out while we can. Ben, where can people see you on the channel?
I host a show on Tuesday nights called What's Going On. It's a weekly roundtable of some of my favorite people. We just I have new people on the show every week and different people on the show every week, and we just talk about everything and anything, and then the chat gets heavily involved, and it's just a super fun time. That is on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. right here on this channel.
Yeah. And then not this coming Friday, but next Friday, you're doing you do a show called The Midnight Creep Out.
Yes, I am the, what did she call me? Oh man,
the Ghoul Boy. You're the Ghoul Boy.
I'm the Ghoul Boy.
Not a pool boy,
to,
a ghoul.
Scare Mistress Jessica and Jessica Bryant scares me every 2 weeks at midnight on Fridays by telling me a true new scary story. And so I get scared though this last week was less scary and more cool. The Men in Black were cool. Good. But next time I think we're talking about underground creatures that live in caves and steal people.
Yeah. So, the Kentucky
goblins, I think it's called. So that's terrifying. So yeah, tune in for that. That's not this coming Friday, but the following Friday at midnight.
Yeah. All right, Ben. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on, and have a good rest of your day.
Oh, thanks so much for having me. I appreciate being here. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Literally one of my favorite people in the world.
I'm so hungry.
Right there. I know. I'm like so hungry right now.
Yeah. I'm thinking about, have you been to Painted Borough?
Oh, I love Painted Borough. Yeah. Davis Square.
Yeah. Margaritas are fantastic. I've heard a couple of reviews from
also
people.
11 a.m.
Yeah. I'm going to go right after this. I've heard a couple of reviews from people. I think Ben made a really good point of like, I heard a couple of reviews from people of like, it's not as good as it used to be. And I'm like, they're so busy. They have those extra booths on the street, but then they also have a tent out back. So they're like, they probably have more people now than they did.
Right.
Even when their restaurant was full. And like, but here's the thing. I've been there like 2 times. Mm-hmm. Over the last month or so, and you gotta get the BLT tacos.
Ooh,
it's crispy pork belly BLT tacos. I don't know what else people were ordering, but those
you had me at good. B. You had me at B. It could have been anything after the B.
Could have been anything.
No, I do love me some crispy pork belly and a taco. I live right around the corner from one of the Blue Ribbon barbecue franchises. I don't know. There's like three or four of them in the greater Boston area, I think. But yeah, I live just down the street from one, and it always smells amazing, and the meat is so good. I just wish their sides were a little better, but that's just me. Yeah. That's just me. Their pulled pork is outstanding. It's so good. Well, that's it. We're just going to be talking about food for the next 8 minutes.
I think we could probably finish the birthday thing.
All I can think about. Yeah, let's finish up the birthdays because today's a good birthday day. Let's see. Happy birthday today. Boy George turned 60 today.
Wow.
Boy George is 60.
Yeah.
Wow. Tennis player Steffi Graf and writer and director Diablo Cody. Birthdays today.
What did Diablo Cody do? Was that
Juno? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Rest of the week. We got tomorrow Helen Hunt, Courtney Cox, and Ice Cube. Wednesday Tupac Shakur and John Cho. Thursday Barry Manilow and Venus Williams. And then Friday Paul McCartney, Isabella Rossellini, and Richard Madden, the King of the North.
The King of the North.
Yeah. soon to be in the one of the new Marvel movies.
Oh, look at
Richard
that.
Madden and Kit Harington are reuniting for the Eternals, which I'm very excited about.
Oh,
I know absolutely
boy.
nothing about the Eternals, but it's a Marvel picture, so I will be watching.
I know
regardless.
that Angelina Jolie is in it, and that Kumail
Yes, they're both in it.
got
as
jacked.
he got
for this
jacked. Yeah,
He got very muscular.
yeah. So that's I'm very excited for that. We also have our trivia question. We got to do that real quick here.
Oh,
So
yeah.
checking back in with our boy Doug Engelbart.
Yep.
In 1964, what computer accessory did he invent? And Chloe says it was the USB lava lamp.
Miniature USB computer lava lamp. I'm pretty certain.
And Chloe, I'm pretty certain that is not in any way, shape, or form
Aw.
correct. Sorry about that. Let's see. Oh, did I get rid of the? I did. Oh, I had a picture. Let's see. Kit Tempest is actually correct. He says, I'm guessing a mouse.
Oh my
and
gosh.
it was the mouse, and it was actually made of wood.
A wooden mouse. That's so funny.
Yeah, so here's the let's see, here's the image of it here. I had one all pulled up, but of course I oh no, that's not.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live. Here it is. Here's the Engelbart mouse right here. Look at that. Had a little button on top of it there.
Oh, that's
Had a little rolly thing on the bottom, but yeah, as you can see, it's mostly made of wood.
cute.
That's cute.
Yeah.
How about that?
You expect the first ones to be a little bit ugly, but that's actually pretty sleek.
Right?
I like
Right?
it.
Looks
Yeah.
like a pretty good design.
Yeah.
Now wooden mice are luxuries. They are, yeah, right. They're like a retro.
That's what you
kind
order
of,
on Sky Mall.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a wooden frame for my computer.
No, we don't do trick questions here, Bella. I don't try to trick you. I try to educate.
We're just trying to learn, y'all.
I'm just trying to learn,
Knowledge.
y'all. Oh man, I do love some Sky Mall. We should do a segment about Sky Mall.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because I love looking at Sky Mall catalogs. So
They're
maybe
so weird.
I'll let me get a subscription. I'll see if I can subscribe to the Sky Mall catalog.
I don't know if this was a dream or not, but my mom was talking to me about they're getting those TVs or the TV mounts that can just make your TV look like a picture, and it puts like a picture frame around it.
Mm-hmm.
She said they were getting one of those, and I
Oh, your parents are getting one?
yeah, and I was a little bit tuned out, but then after the conversation, I was like, wait, what?
I'm actually I'm on their website trying to find it, and it's not immediately handy, but we'll do a whole Sky Mall bit.
We're gonna do a Sky Mall bit next time.
I love that. Maybe next week we'll take a look at some Sky Mall stuff. That's our show, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Later tonight at 7:00 is That Sounds Right with Kaylee Kane and Tim Booker, which I'm very excited. It's such a good show. You should definitely tune in and watch that. Followed at 8:00 by Poof, the Magical Game Show.
Poof.
With, Robert Bacon and Nate Lopez. Couple of really, really funny guys. And they put on a good show.
They put on a good show.
Oh, just Poof tonight. Okay, thank you, Rachel, in the chat, helping me
Just
out.
Poof.
They're keeping me on the educated side of things.
Aw.
That Sounds Right is taking the night off as well. They should. They have earned it. So tune in at 8 for Poof, the Magical Game Show with Nate and Bacon.
Awesome.
Don't forget, smash that follow button if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button too. We like those things. You can subscribe with your Amazon Prime if you'd like. We appreciate that. Other ways you can support us, you can go to our Matt just portrayed the show concept by making something up. I did. Mm-hmm. You can also support the channel with our through our Patreon. You can get our merch, which there's a link there in the chat. We've got a Ko-fi if you want to send a little tip our way. Just do a one-time little donation. So many ways to support the channel. Chloe, you had an amazing piece of wisdom for today's show. Do you remember what it is? Because I've forgotten it already, but I need you to say it again so I can write it down.
Was this the thing before the show or during the show?
Before the show.
Oh no,
that is going to be lost to the world.
Here's my words of wisdom.
Yeah.
Don't sweat the small stuff.
I think it was along those lines. So
if you forget something, if it's important, it'll come back.
Yeah. There's too much out there to worry about right now.
It's true.
And there always will be. So just, as Ben said, be cool.
Be cool, man.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great week.
Goodbye, world.
Goodbye.